Hi, I'm Famida Rashid, Senior Writer at CSO Online. Today I'm here with Sarah Gibson of Veracode, and we'll be talking about application security and a very important question. Do developers care about security? So Sarah, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
And I'm going to ask you right up front, do developers care about security?
They do. They do care about security. They see it as part of the quality of their application, and they want to be able to make that better, right? No one wants to make bad code. So yeah,
They don't want the reputation of writing bad code.
No, they don't. Yes, they certainly care about security, and there's evidence out there that when presented with findings, they fix them. They fix those security flaws pretty quickly.
So is it just more of they aren't given a list they can work with? Is it that they need the tool to understand the flaws? Like, what do we need to provide?
So I think there's a combination. So having access to the tools is important. I think a lot of developers don't even have a security scanning tool, any sort of automation that they can use. And without that, they don't have the findings to look through. I think as well, there's also just getting more familiar with security findings and how to fix them. So just because you care doesn't mean you know how. So I think there's a combination. And the other part that I think is important is having a security team that's willing to help out. It's willing to get in there and really be collaborative.
So one of the things I found really interesting last year, Dan Kaminsky kind of made out a call, like we need to have tools, we need to have more support for developers to write good code.
Yeah.
And now you're here at Black Hat 2017 kind of talking a little bit more about this. Do you think we've made any progress in that toward getting developers the tools they need?
I think so.
That's good. That's a plus.
I think that developers are starting to know that that's something that they should have. Okay. And I think that's really a first step. It's not, security knows that they should have that. But for having development be like, yeah, you know what, I also do need that. Yeah. I think that's sort of a step to go that direction. So we're here to help, and then they're also, willing to help us help them, so it's cool.
So one thing about the software development lifecycle, there's so many points that you can inject security in. Yeah. Can you kind of talk about some of the areas where you think if the developers have access to these tools, we are dealing with those more immediately? Right,
yeah, so we have sort of in the past a lot of just scanning efforts done. That's obviously more difficult. You're way harder to fix the application at that point. We are seeing it move earlier into the cycle. At Veracode, we have the sandbox functionality, which really allows developers to have sort of consequence-free scanning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they can get in there and they can scan. The security team doesn't have to worry about it. Once the developer's comfortable, they can push it up to security, and then, and when they do that, it has fewer flaws. So we're already seeing a change in these numbers because of these functionalities that we're putting out there to push things closer to the beginning. It's pretty cool.
So do you also see that not only the the vulnerability itself going down, the big concern is, oh, if I'm doing security, it's going to take me longer to develop. Is there really a slowdown in pushing out code if it's integrated during your process?
If it's integrated during the process and gets in really early, I don't think it's a huge slowdown. I think that's a really good place to get some data and be able to really dig in there and see what are the consequences. But when it's early and it's sort of part of the regular development process, it's a regular bug. It's on your regular sprint. You can just
It's not a security issue yet. It's just like, oh, this is a code I just need to fix right now.
Right, so it's not something where I've already written the application, you're asking me to go back and do all this extra work, and I have to, I don't have anyone budgeted for it anymore. Like, it's been shipped. When it's part of the process, it's definitely easier. Yeah, and getting it even further into the IDE, into where they're actually coding is the ideal.
I mean, the way that you mentioned getting in the IDE is actually perfect because you don't want to tell the developer, change how you work.
Right, exactly.
You want to make it like, you keep doing what you're doing, but here's the extra thing.
Here's some extra information so we can help you do what you do, but a little more securely. Yeah.
For more on application security, join us on idg.tv and CSO Online.